Hello aviators, after taking a year off, I'm back with the 4th edition of the Burning Man Airspace Tour, which finally includes a walkthrough of the alternate wind patterns for 5 left and right. Exciting! I put this together because 2D diagrams can only take you so far, and this visualization really helped me identify congestion spots not obvious to me on the paper charts. The airspace at Burning Man isn't terribly difficult or complex, it's just different, and as a visual learner, being able to see it all in 3D made a big difference in my confidence to tackle it, and I hope this video can help you do the same. Okay, let's jump in, and note these are the traffic patterns for the prevailing winds. We'll get to the alternate pattern next. So let's talk about what we're looking at. The red pentagon is the no-fly zone over the event. Please don't go in there. The black strips south of the pentagon are the 2 runways, one for landings, one for takeoffs. The green paths are inbound flights, the red paths are outbound flights. The orange paths are departures to the scenic tour routes, and the purple flight path is for ultralights. Okay, this looks pretty straightforward, right? Well, here's what it looks like without the imaginary guidelines. You can see that if you don't arrive with a strong visualization of the traffic patterns, it can be confusing. And note, this is fully to scale. It's busy. Now I'll walk you through the patterns step by step. Starting on the approach from Gerlach, begin your descent to 7,000. Planes flying less than 120 knots stay to the left, i.e. north, of the railroad, and faster traffic stay to the right or south. The big bad charter planes are out there, so keep an eye out. As you near the event, you have the option to fly the scenic pattern before landing. If you go scenic, continue at 7,000 and head for point 1 on the Pentagon. In this tour, we're going to go direct. Slower planes. Establish yourself in the downwind and descend to 5,000. Turn base when abreast Frog Pond and head a bit right of point 5. Faster planes. Continue down the south side of the tracks and descend to 5,500. Turn base a little after Frog Pond when roughly abreast Razorback Mountain, pictured here in the bottom right, and keep an eye out for pilots passing beneath you at 5,000 coming from behind Razorback. And all pilots, remember to check in with the tower and to announce your position as you progress inbound, as you would with any uncontrolled field. Say things like Red Cessna and not your tail number, which is useless to other traffic. And most importantly, don't fly an overly long downwind, any longer than 2 miles, and you'll intercept pilots exiting the scenic pattern. Now for takeoff. Pretty straightforward. Fly runway heading until you climb to 4,500, at which point you turn slightly left so you're flying down the middle of the valley. Remember, playa elevation changes, but it's roughly 4,000 feet. Regardless of intent, fly 2 miles, then, if departing to the west or south, simply climb and turn on course. If departing to the north or east, or if you intend to fly the scenic, make a sharp right turn back to point 1. In this tour, we'll fly the scenic. In the scenic pattern, there are 3 vertical ring patterns around the event. One for planes under 120 knots at 5,500 feet, one for planes faster at 6,000 feet, and one for inbound flights at 7,000 feet depicted in green. So climb to your designated altitude and enter the scenic pattern at point 1. Once in the scenic, there are a few rules. First, fly clockwise. Second, when entering, announce yourself and look for others already in the pattern to your right. Third, if you're an ultralight, you can only fly from point 1 to point 3 and back again. This keeps you clear of the boring faster airplanes. Fourth, you can fly around the scenic as many times as you like. Just make sure you check in at point 5 each time. And finally, when departing the pattern, only do so at point 3. And once departed, descend to 5,000 and proceed around Razorback Mountain. Traffic at 6,000 and 7,000, swing a little wide so that you don't descend onto the slower traffic below you. If you're inbound from the east, join the scenic flow here and proceed inbound for landing. As you come back towards the event, look left for charter flights at 5,500 and make sure your altimeter is stuck at 5,000 because this is the most critical converging traffic point in the entire airspace. And finally, join the base for landing. Okay, now for the alternate pattern, when runways 5 left and right are in use. I won't step through the whole airspace, but I'll highlight the differences and show you a few visual perspectives. I'll start with departures since I want to highlight how critical it is to look above you for planes crossing from the downwind to the scenic. Small planes can easily be airborne after only 20% of the runway length, so stay below pattern altitude until you're sure you're beyond the end of the runway. Also, if you're departing to the east, climb quickly so as to be above the traffic departing the scenic pattern. Next, we'll move to inbound, which is pretty straightforward. From the south or west, fly a straight-in approach for 5 left. If you want to fly the scenic first, fly straight to point 1. Don't get too close to the rail tracks, as traffic departing the downwind from 5 right will be flying down those tracks. If you're inbound from the north or east, enter the scenic pattern at the closest point. And now to departure. When departing the scenic, observe the same procedures as before, but enter a right downwind for 5 left. And finally, make sure to look to your right for converging traffic on the downwind. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. And remember, this map is fully interactive and online at 88nv3d.com, where you can explore any aspect of the airspace in more detail. And honestly, it's pretty cool, so check it out. See you on the fly.